And three, two, one.
Welcome to episode 145 of the Narcissistic Music Disorder.
Good morning, Scott. We again, like we always do before we start recording this stuff, is we were already into something. I also want to say this before we even get rolling. I may have cut off your intro. Yeah, I counted us in and then I hit record. And so if it's off, don't get mad at me. Just live with
That's
it.
fine.
We're not re-recording it. That's too much production work for the
Yeah,
production
we
team.
can't
But
have that.
anyhow, we were talking before we started recording because we do this all the time. So why don't we start right now, Scott? Certainly for the listeners who aren't watching video, um, what's going on today?
Today we are joined by a friend of ours. I've been friends with him, God, since 1994, I think.
I
Okay.
believe maybe
Wow.
even.
So 30 plus years. John Connors, bassist extraordinaire.
Okay. So first of all, John, thanks for doing this, dude.
Oh
Welcome.
yeah, I love it.
So now
Thanks for
it's
asking.
now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to awkwardly embarrass the guest. And I always like to do this. Um and again, I gotta say, my opinion, I think it matters. I think it's an educated opinion. But musically speaking, I always make the league minimum. I say that all the time. Connors, on the other hand, this is top level dude. You'd agree with me, Scott?
Yes.
Top level musician. I know from experience, everybody who's heard him play, I mean, in a host of bands, knows this. And I don't want to embarrass you, dude,
Already
but
embarrassed.
never have I played with somebody, and I've had the honor of playing music with John. It's a huge deal. But someone who's going to fill in, and we did, John, we do this together. We've done this kind of throw together gig, we'll
Hmm.
call it. But never does somebody go, hey man, I need to throw this thing together, and they get a John Connors who learns all the songs like kick ass, and then in like days, and then like has vocal harmonies worked out for him and sings them killer. And if
Yeah.
the guitar player dude's like some shitty geek off the street you fucking found, he's also able to go, don't worry, dude, I can start that song. I'll play the guitar part so you don't have to, because I know you don't know what you're fucking doing over there. So it's pretty remarkable. And tell us, John, like, we before we get into the show, what's your background? Like, how did you start playing? What's your
My uncle was, well, my grandfather was a accordion player in a polka band who played pretty much every weekend. So when I
Okay.
was growing up, there was always music at my grandparents' house. There was always music at my parents' house. I started playing guitar when I was about 6. um,
Okay.
just because my uncle was a guitar player and a bass player. He was a session bass player in Chicago when he was 14.
Wow.
So, yeah, so as soon as I was able to hold an instrument, he was putting it in my hands and showing me the ropes. And then because I didn't live, they lived down in St. Joe, Benton Harbor area, so I wouldn't see him that often. So I'd get these pointers and, hey, listen to this Paul Simon album, and then send me home to just work on these one or two things for months until I saw him again. So
Cool.
it just gradually grew until the point where I was sitting in with them when I was like 10, 11 years old, sitting in on certain polka songs and stuff, which polka
Cool.
songs are awesome to learn
Dude.
music, to learn changes, especially, I mean, it's a perfect intro into music theory and how basses move around songs, how songs are crafted,
Yeah.
where bridges go, things like that. So it was a great intro, and a lot of it builds off. A lot of music builds off of those old,
Right.
beer barrel polka style, you know, old drinking songs and stuff. So
Standard progressions
yeah.
and yeah, stuff that we're familiar with, right? I mean,
And then played, was in jazz band in high school and played in a couple of bands in college, and then college didn't quite work out, so I quit and joined some bands, and I continued to join some bands.
so in your musical history, and I won't ask you to like rattle off every band you've been in. I couldn't do that either. Although I remember Laser, Lazer, was quite
Oh,
a pretty big one in sixth to seventh grade. We didn't have any members besides me and a friend, but we were pretty cool. What would you say was like your first quote unquote either working band or big band, bigger the band that maybe people go, oh, that's Connor's, and he played in
Liquid Sun was
Liquid
my
Sun.
that was my first band that felt like, wow, I'm really supposed to be doing this. Like we gelled. We three of us were old friends, and the three of them separately were friends for years while I was trying to do the college thing. So we all meshed quickly. Songs came together quickly. It was a psychedelic, an acid rock band from, I think it was what, 91, 92 era. That was
it
the first
was
one
93.
that really felt like, we're
big
doing
time.
something that can go somewhere,
And
and that other people were digging. That was the big thing.
that's when I saw you. Then I saw you. I think I've told the story because I saw Liquid Sun and what was the other band? What was Dunning's band he played with back then?
Back,
He
5-Day Rain.
5-Day Rain. So I saw
With
5-Day
him
Rain
and
and
Joel Ferguson. Yeah.
yes, I saw 5-Day Rain and Liquid Sun at Grand Valley State University. I'm guessing if I graduated high school in 1990, I had 2 years. So I'm thinking 92, 93-ish.
Probably.
And again, it was one of those things. I was super liquored up, and I was wandering around campus.
Sure,
like
we were too.
I was wandering around campus like a homeless dude, like not with a purpose. And I heard music, and it was those two bands, like set up on a flatbed. And I remember, I don't know which one of the two bands. I don't know if it was I think it was 5-Day Rain, to be honest with you. But one of those two bands covered "Nearly Lost You" by the Screaming
That was
Trees.
5-Day Rain.
And it was kick ass. It was like a really good cover. And both those bands I remember being really blown away by. And then so you moved on from obviously Liquid Sun, and then what have you done? What have you done for us lately?
With a band called Pillbox for a couple years. Another friend of ours, Tommy, and then actually Pete Dunning from he was in from 5-Day Rain. He was in Troll for Trout at the time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he had approached me about playing bass in Trout, and I went in and auditioned, and they offered me the spot, and I'm still in that band 30 years later. So
that was a big one too. That was a
pretty big. Yeah, we put out a lot of albums. We're playing Bliss Fest this next weekend up in Harbor Springs. So we're still doing that stuff.
That's a big band.
That's one of those ongoing things. Everyone in that band is solid in that band, but also in a bunch of other projects. So everyone just kind of does their thing and then comes together and plays 3 or 4 gigs a year. And it's just a fun thing to continue to do. So.
What's your take on that? Like you said, everybody's like, everybody's in Troll for Trout and they're in a bunch of other projects. Do you ever wish you were just in a band?
No.
You don't? Oh my God. I wish so bad that I was in a band with 4 dudes, 5.
Just one band in one direction.
That
Hey,
no, they weren't hiring. I tried. It was the dancing. I fucked the dancing up.
It was the hair, my fault. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. I had nothing to whip around or anything. No, but like that, I missed that. I missed that. You'd get that call. It could be in the middle of the night. Dude, man, I was thinking about when we do this song, we got to do this at the intro, or we should do this, or man, that came to me. And like everybody was that instead of this. And maybe you'll appreciate this, maybe you won't. But nowadays, when I was a kid, you could call somebody up and be like, dude, grab your Gorilla practice amp and your Series 10 guitar. But I want you to ride your bike over to my crib. I know I live 4 miles away, but you got to come over here because I think I figured out the riff to "Am I Evil?" and I'd like to play.
See if you heard the same thing.
Right? And someone would come over. Now, if you call anybody in my and I have a great circle of musicians. I know like musicians. Obviously, I know you and a lot of real musician cats. When you call a lot of them, what's the first thing they say?
Oh, I can't. I'm busy. I got something else going on.
Or what's it pay? Oh, what's it pay, man? What's it pay, man?
Well, I mean, but there's something to be said. But that's regrettably, that's just kind of, if you want to make a career out of music,
I think it's old man.
You're gonna want to make money for your time.
It's getting old too. It's getting old too because your time is so much more valuable now. I get
is.
that.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
like
Yeah.
I can put a dollar value on leaving home and packing all this shit into the car. I get that.
Well, and
But
you got to, I mean, oftentimes you got to put in an hour and a half to go practice somewhere and then turn
right,
around and do an hour and a half back.
right.
So
That's
it's,
the worst part. But
but if it's worth it for your soul
oh,
afterwards, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
your drive home, just you're floating on air on the way home. That's
and
why I do it, you know?
and
And
I had those moments. I mean, I'm just coming off I these two things aren't related. Because I think we've had you kind of on the docket for quite a while, John. But I'm just coming off those gigs we played with Carrie Welling, and
yeah,
I have this sort of hangover, this weird thing where I'm like, that was so fulfilling that I'm kind of like, man,
I get it every single year when she comes to
like,
town, and we get this band together and
yep,
we have never enough rehearsal and never enough time to spend with the tunes. They always, some of them always come off very golden, and some of
right,
them I'm like, oh, can we get another shot at that one? And we
sure,
can't till next year. So,
sure, yeah.
but that's the beauty of it too, is that's that flash in time that you get, and
I'm
then
just
it's
blown
gone.
away though. I'm just blown away by how like you or Chico or Pete or Kreppel. I mean, these are it just blows my mind how that my circle of people I know and that Scott and I both can say this. Our circle of people we know is littered with what I would consider top level musicians.
I
Just
agree.
Absolutely.
I
littered,
agree.
and
I
that's not counting guys that either aren't playing anymore, some of them, or I mean, there are dudes in Muskegon who quit playing 25 years ago who
that are
were
better. Yeah, exactly.
monsters,
Jimmy
and you're like,
Scott from Liquid Sun is better than a lot of guys.
Oh,
yeah,
and he just doesn't want to do it
and
anymore.
that's
Doesn't want
He
to
cool.
leave
wants
the
to play. He
house.
still plays. He just plays for his wife and
Yep.
Yep.
for himself. And occasionally, if you can catch him in a rare sighting, he'll be out. But yeah,
Right.
he's one of those that just got sick of the game, got sick of, I don't want to pack my stuff up and go play over here. So he just doesn't. And yeah,
Yeah.
I,
That
I,
and there's
I
something
don't like
admirable.
that, but at the same time, I value the time that we did get to play,
Right.
and I constantly, can relive that with recordings and videos and
And
things
I
like
need
that.
constant validation, of course, constant validation from others. I need that constantly. I need to
Well,
know
and isn't that
that
that's
it's okay.
one of the things? Isn't that what's awesome about, like you said earlier, only having one band? You don't have you. I find it interesting to keep shifting gears. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, we're playing in country tonight. Hey, I'm playing pop stuff today. Hey, I'm playing 70s things. Now I'm playing,
Yeah.
50s, 60s things,
That
some
is cool.
doo-wop. And it's just like
That is
every one
cool.
of them has a unique,
Right.
so,
A
and you never really
fingerprint,
know.
right?
And all of a sudden I switch gears, and, in a couple of days I'm practicing with Trout. So now it's going to go strummy singer songwritery, just
Yeah.
posting out, the song form for the singer to shine. So
Yeah.
they all have these different, I think I'm ADHD as all get out,
I think I am
so
too.
I need that whole the next squirrel, so it's neat to always go, oh
Keeps you
crap, I have
engaged.
to
Yeah.
now rehearse this because this is happening next week, and then this is happening the week after,
Yeah.
and
That's pretty
you always
cool. It
have a
is.
couple of plates spinning, and you're just trying to.
It's my fault because like I've said on this show a million times, I grew up on the Monkees and the Beatles, and all music used to be presented to me
A
like
package.
a package like that, like a life. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
did
the
for
monkeys
years.
all were always
They
together.
lived in a
Beatles
fucking
were
house
always, yeah,
together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I
Aldridge
thought that's
family,
what
they were all in a house.
exactly. And then I couldn't figure out why the dudes in my bands, I'm like, hey man, it's 4 a.m. Get over here and let's talk about that
Yeah.
chord change. I'm like, oh, if we just lived in a giant house together. And then you realize the other thing. Like I played in bands with people I love dearly and I love to this day. If I lived in a house with them, one of us isn't coming out alive.
We
Right.
did. We did. Liquid Sun did all live in a house
Yeah,
together.
Yeah.
you guys did.
Luckily,
Oh,
yeah, and with a number of other Bentings and Mannings and things like that coming and going, that was one of the neat things about that band is we really got along well. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, there was always, whoever wasn't there, I'm sure me a lot of times, you're going to be the butt of jokes because you're not here, especially if everyone else is like, well, we kind of were hoping to practice, but there's no Connors, so
Yeah, right. Right.
Now I'm
Oh,
I'm gonna get the short end of the stick when I get home, there's no doubt. But yeah, it was awesome to always be able to, hey, come down here, just hear this idea real quick.
yeah,
There's
that
something
is awesome.
awesome about that. But yeah, I could see how, especially at this age, I would want to choke the shit out of somebody by
At this age, at this, I can see right now me in a band house at my age right now. You guys,
Oh.
it's 8:30. Let's quiet it down a little
Let's
bit
calm it
here.
down here.
Exactly. I'm in my night clothes, right? Everybody be quiet. Quit talking. It's
6 a.m.
bedtime.
going for a run, and it's like, what? What's going on?
Exactly. All right. Enough. Well, thank you for doing this, dude. Really,
Oh,
what a
thanks
treat
for
for us.
asking.
What a treat for us. Scott, why don't you lay out how this thing goes for those who aren't? And we should note too, my buddy Scott is, what are you running at today? 50%?
Yeah,
Are you 50?
I'm powering through it today.
That's
Yeah.
my boy. All right, let's get through this thing. Tell us the layout of this thing and let's roll.
We're gonna do our rock record first. So let's let our guest start it off.
All right, this is pick 5. And what
Yep.
that breaks down to is a rock record, a pop record, a country record, an R&B, rap, blues, or jazz record, and then an NMD pick, which is just your kind of quirky, maybe not popular, maybe not well known. Maybe you're the only person on the planet who knows the record.
See, the thing is with you guys, though, you guys know everything. So
oh
the
God, dude, I
idea
wish.
that I'm going to throw something, especially to Benting, and he's not going to know what it is, it never happens.
Dude, but that's why I'm here. Guys, that's why I'm here, because I'll be like, holy shit, there's a band called The Birds. What are they like?
Yeah,
Benting is the guy you have to, you're not, he's, my picks are always stuff for the most part, I'll write down like something I've actively listened to in the last few days, or
Yeah.
is a big deal to me.
I scrolled through my library and went, yeah, this is always getting played. This is always getting played.
Yep.
Things that like my rock pick is the Toy Matinee debut album from 1990.
The Toy Matinee.
Toy Matinee. It's probably one of my favorite overall albums of all time. The band was Kevin Gilbert, who's one of my favorite songwriter, guitar players. He had an integral part in the Tuesday Night Music Club. He actually was the founder of the Tuesday Night Music Club long before Cheryl was a member of said club.
Oh, cool.
And he, the album's got Bill Bottrell on it. It's got Guy Pratt, Tim Pierce.
Oh, yeah.
Campbell playing bass. Just crazy. Brian McLeod playing drums. He's a great drummer. And
stylistically, what's it like, John?
1990, like it was just right in that it exists in that area between hair rock and grunge. It was
Yep, cool,
very intricate stuff. Pat Leonard, it was interesting how the band kind of happened. Kevin was a competitive pianist and was over in like 92, I believe, in Japan at like some big Yamaha performance piece, and was playing some of his originals with an old band he had. And Pat Leonard, who went on to produce Madonna and all that, saw him and was always wanted to be in a prog band. So they kind of formed this prog band. It's prog rock, but it's like prog done very, I guess, glossy, I would say.
Approachable.
Yeah, the songs are the songcraft
accessible
is amazing. It's not just like math music or something like that.
Right.
It's interesting. And yeah, I mean, if you're not familiar, man, you're in for a treat with that.
All right. Toy Matinee. Excellent. Yeah. What's your rock pick, Benting?
Indie rock from Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville.
Oh, man.
1993.
That's the big record, right? I mean, that's not her
Whip Smart was the one after that, which was really good too.
That was the glossy commercial one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Exile in Guyville, really, like, every song resonates into the next one. It's it's such a great like indie rock album that it's so badass.
I like both those records. I feel like I think my college girlfriend was a Liz Phair fan for Guyville. like Had Guyville, probably. That's what I'm remembering. The glossy one, the hit one with Why Can't
Yeah,
I?
Whip
Is that the
Smart.
next one, Whip Smart? I really like that record.
I
think
think
it's
that
a
one came out in
really,
94,
I think that's
95.
a really good pop record. And I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate to say, a huge crush on Liz Phair.
Oh yeah.
Huge crush, man. Oh, she's one of my, I have a list of that era of rocker girl that I love, and Liz Phair is definitely in there. I had some Sheryl Crow in there, of course, and
Yeah.
Tanya Donnelly. You guys remember her from Belly?
Belly.
Belly. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Nice pick. Nice pick, Scott. My rock album is by Butch Walker and the Black Widows. It's called The Spade.
Oh God, yes.
Now, to me, that's his finest moment. That's Butch Walker's solo finest moment. And there'll be a lot of disagreement on that because Butch has had a lot of great records, both as the Marvelous Three, as Butch Walker, right? He's had great albums. The Spade is perfect. It's as Stonesy as it can be. The tones are all killer. It's live, live in the studio, kind of recorded, not a lot of overdubs.
And it's actually a band and not just Butch.
And that's what I like. That's what I like the most about it is you can hear other people's influence. You can even hear, because the other thing they do, and the Spade has come up on our show before for like studio chatter.
Yeah.
Is they let the chatter run like in between songs a bit and stuff. And that's cool because you can, like, there's a false start where they start a tune and then you can hear the bass player go, well, what if I start? They stop. And
yeah, Bullet Belt,
I think. It's Bullet Belt. Boom, 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 boom. He plays that.
Yeah, what if I start? Yeah, Fran or whatever the bass player.
And then they just start playing.
Whoever it was, yeah.
Yeah, Butch Walker's and we're big Butch Walker fans here.
Oh, yeah.
Producer, songwriter. Playing guitar right now in Train.
Is he
really?
He's
out with Train.
Oh, he's out with Train right now. Okay.
Yeah, he's playing guitar in Train.
Jeez.
I don't know how many shows he's doing or if he's just filling in for someone, but he's done a handful of shows with him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's friends with Pat, so that makes sense.
I think he may have had a hand in producing something for Train or whatever. Yeah. So Butch. All right. So what's your pop record, Connors?
My pop record, and see, I don't. Owsley. You familiar with Owsley?
No.
Yeah, very, very first record.
See, fucking venting. Oh yeah.
He says. Yeah, again, he's like, yeah, I just listened to it a couple days ago.
Exactly.
99. Will Owsley's was an incredible guitar player.
Yeah. Okay. It's a pop record. I mean, it's
as glossy pop as you've ever experienced in your life, and it's to me, it's pop perfection. Harmonies are there. The guitar work is tasty. The drum and bass work is ridiculous and tasty. He had a studio in Detroit, I believe. Pardon me. I'm thinking of somebody else. I was thinking of Brendan Benson. Will Owsley had one in Nashville. He was Amy Grant's touring guitar player when she was big. And then when she started to fit, his first solo record was 99. The second one was 2003. So, he had some success. I think he even got the first album even got nominated for a Grammy. He didn't win, but he got a Grammy nom for it. It's the release off of that first album was Oh No, the Radio. And it had some that's just a tasty pop tune. It's just as glossy, shined up pop as you can get, and there's to me something to be said for a really good glossed up shiny bird,
I love it. I love it. And my pop record is on the heavier side, but it's a pop record for sure. And you talk about glossy, it's an older record, but production wise, there's not a single piece out of place in the record. You talk tasty guitars, you're talking like background vocals, things like that. I have Night Ranger's Midnight Madness. It was their big Night Ranger record.
Yeah. Definitely.
The big one. And I was, for some of us, especially in my neighborhood, the stoners in my neighborhood, we'd already liked Dawn Patrol, that first Night Ranger record. We were already big into Don't Tell Me You Love Me, Sing Me Away, all the hits. We were listening to that record already. So when Midnight Madness came out, I don't know if it was like this in Grand Rapids, kind of in where you guys were at, but in my hometown, Night Ranger was huge.
Oh yeah,
a huge band. I mean, huge. They came like I can remember they didn't come to Muskegon. I don't think they maybe went out and were playing in Grand Rapids. That's 84, whatever this Midnight Madness era. And I remember the day after that concert, I was still probably in elementary school, and every high school kid was wearing a Night Ranger jersey the next day. It's like they all went to see Night Ranger, the whole fucking school. But that thing had those hit songs on it. Some of the, obviously Sister Christian's the one we've heard on every
little huge,
every movie, but it's the songs that weren't the hits that really rock. Touch of Madness is on there. They had a single called When You Close Your Eyes off this, and the harmony interplay, the vocal harmonies have that thing I like, and I just went through it on Facebook with Styx's Kilroy was here. I was defending the Robot album.
Oh, you have to defend Kilroy.
Thank you. Come on, John. Thank you.
Everyone moves through time. You have to mark time.
It's a cultural icon, a culturally significant record. It's not, but it's a great record. Yes, it's about robots.
Culturally significant because this was my rock idols growing up. I had Pieces of Eight and Paradise Theater and all that, and then all of a sudden Roboto hits, and you're like,
what is this? And I was trying to explain to somebody about this Roboto thing, this whole concept. I swear to God, I'm not making this up. And from 1982 to 1980, I'll say 6 or 7. I'll say 6. There was a genuine concern in my daily existence that somehow they were going to take rock and roll from me. Like that was a concern. Like I wouldn't be able to get albums, or the PMRC was going to outlaw music.
Yeah, that was big PMRC days, wasn't it?
And that's the whole Kilroy concept was that concept, right? And then technology and robots and computers and shit. So obviously that's cool. But the thing about it, and the Night Ranger album too, is I don't know who arranges like those harmony vocals and the backup parts, but I mean the Night Ranger ones, Jack Blades, dude. Jack Blades is like the king. King.
Oh yeah.
The king. And that band. I mean, Brad Gillis, amazing guitar player, still with them. Jeff Watson, who's not in the band anymore, but is great. And the cool thing about Night Ranger, the big thing, I've even talked to Scott Stefanski about this. The drummer, the sideways set up up stage, right, at the edge of the stage.
You can see him singing. Yeah, they're not buried in the back somewhere.
Pretty cool. Yeah. So Night Ranger. All right. Moving on to our.
I gotta do my pop.
Yeah, you didn't do yours. For some reason I thought I was last in the rotation. What's your pop record, Scott?
It's actually a new age, but I consider it pop. It's 1979's "Look Sharp" from Joe Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
That record is. I've been listening to it a bunch lately, and just man, Sunday Papers. I love that song for some reason. Are You Really Going Out With Him? I mean, is insane.
That's a great tune.
Ridiculous.
But I mean, that is that song. Are You Really Going Out With Him? Is as pop as a song.
Yeah.
I mean, it's he's capable certainly of some bizarre writing, but those are.
I think that's why he never got huge, because he is capable of some kind of left field stuff. And I mean, even to have Is She Really Going Out With Him as a quote unquote hit single, that's a quirky ass song too.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because it's broken as far as the groove goes. That those verses are kind of broken, and then you open up into this chorus, this poppy chorus, and then I mean it's not like danceable.
The chorus was really like early 60s doo-woppy style.
It was doo-woppy
at the end of the 70s when no one was doing that. So it was cool. I've always thought he was cool. And Graham Maybe is one of my favorite bass players of all time.
Just the spoken stuff where he's going back and forth in that song, like look over there, where that's so awesome, man.
That's a killer. Good pick, man. Wow. Yeah. Huge album. All right. Moving on. Country Connors. What's your country record?
Country Connors.
Country Connors, which is his alter ego.
An album that I still can't move past. And I got it, I think, when it came out. Katie Lang in Ingenue, 1992. Her second, Absolute Torch and Twang was awesome.
Yeah.
But Ingenue, to me, it's just, those songs just make me cry,
Can you, I mean, I've said this before. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I don't think Katie Lang gets enough credit for kicking in an awful lot of doors. The Brandi Carlile door,
Couldn't agree more.
I think you can take Brandi Carlile's career to Katie Lang's career. I think everybody from Sarah McLachlan to Sean Colvin to a lot of those female artists who had an had an opportunity to be artists, not ass. No offense to anybody, but right, there's two kinds of it's not, I didn't set the business up, but there's kind of that two kinds. There's the artist, right? The artist, and then there's the ass.
You got Ricky Lee Jones and you got Miley Cyrus.
Exactly. And both of which I like. I still, Party in the USA is a great jam. I'll die on that hill. I will die on that hill. They played it in the parade on the 4th of July. A float went by playing it, and everybody in my party looked right at me like, Merchant, it's your song, man. I love that too. But yeah, Katie Lang opened up those doors. And sonically, the sound of that music is captured beautifully.
The musicians on that album are just ridiculous. I mean, Miss Chatelaine, her voice to me is, she and Karen Carpenter to me are the two most perfect female voices.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sure you can do multiple episodes on that, but those two just have butter for voices.
Yeah.
It's like real butter, like,
real butter.
Real butter.
Merchant has
Amish
I can't believe it's
Gary
not butter.
Burton played marimba on that album. You know that?
I wonder when John Lowry got involved with her on guitar.
Mid-90s, I think.
John 5.
No. It had to be earlier than that, because he was with David Lee Roth for he came in after A Little Ain't Enough. That would have been sometime in the mid-90s. So you could have seen that era of Katie Lang could have been John Lowry on guitar. Yeah.
Which is crazy to me.
That's
I'm sure
insane.
he's not, I'm sure he wasn't the guy we pictured in our heads.
We were talking about earlier. He's doing a Roth thing over here. He's doing a Katie Lang thing over here. Talk about a full life as a musician.
He wanted to be, he said his dream from day one was to be a studio musician. Like, that's what he wanted. And he's a John Lowry, good live performer. Wears his guitar too high. We agree, Scott?
Yeah.
Can you agree with that?
No, I will
not. Connor,
you're a bass player, dude. That's different.
Yeah,
it's
but
different.
I will. But what you do is you play how you
stop
you
it. Don't
play
say
how.
Don't
have you heard him play? Yes. So just let him play how he's playing. If he plays it up here, who cares? He's
stop it.
You know what I mean? It's like
that's because you're a real musician. You're talking real musician.
Yeah.
No,
I
you
wear
gotta
my
have
bass where I wear it because I played my whole life sitting down in a chair.
Right. You're a bass player. It's okay, dude.
Stand
okay.
up. You can't now drape it at the knees.
Buddy, it's okay. You get to do that. You get to do that. You're a bass player. That's okay. I know all right. I will tell you this right now. I want you to go look at live Motley Crue videos with him. It looks awkward to me.
It looks awkward.
But I'm going to say this.
Visually, because
visually. Oh, dude, anybody in their right mind who plays guitar or bass or the string, it only makes sense. It only makes sense to play it in a proper playing position, which we know is up here, because you're used to, as a guitar player, you would have your foot on a classical footstool.
Adjusting the body.
It's the way to look. It's the right way to do it if you want to be good. If you want to be Joe Perry, you don't worry about shit like that, John.
No.
You don't worry about shit like that. All right. So,
if you're Nikki Sixx, it might be.
You're not even playing, dude.
It might be,
If you're Nikki Sixx, you're not even playing. So you can wear it anywhere you want. You don't have to wear it at all. My country pick is this is always my this is my test for new grassers. It's when people are like, I really love bluegrass and I play the mandolin or whatever, and I go, oh, are you guys familiar with the Louvin brothers? And if you're not familiar with the Louvin brothers, I'm like, well,
yeah, then
your influences are yesterday. The Louvin brothers, Charlie and I were Louvin. And I used the album When I Stopped Dreaming. It's kind of a retrospective. I think Satan is Real is a really good album. Scott, we've talked about the Louvins a million times on this show because they were such a fixture in early Uncle Tupelo, and that's how I got into the Louvin brothers. Although I remember as a kid hearing, I want to say it was like a Burrito Brothers or a Birds cover of Cash on the Barrelhead. That'll be Cash on the Barrelhead, son.
Yep.
Of course, the
Flying
Louvins.
Burrito Brothers, yes.
Yeah, who I love.
Old 97s do that too?
Yeah, yes. Oh, no, they had a song called Crash. You're gonna crash
on the Barrelhead.
On the Barrelhead, son. Kind of a play of Cash on the Barrelhead.
My country record is from Leanne Womack. It's called There's More Where That Came From.
What year? Any idea?
Probably 05 era.
When was her peak?
Got like a real 70s aesthetic to it though.
Oh, cool.
It's her last record with that label, which is just a way to go out, man. That record is killer. It's Tom Bukovac plays guitar on there.
What's the album again?
There's More Where That Came From.
Okay,
I think that song was written by Chris Stapleton, actually.
I didn't know that dude was a big writer in Nashville before he.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
The Steel Drivers, like some of those songs are like Gary Allan does Drinking Dark Whiskey, the Steel Drivers song.
Was that his band or something?
Yeah, that was his band before he went
solo.
Before he got famous for a cover that nobody seemed to like, and then everybody liked all of a sudden.
And everyone loved.
And then nobody seemed to like, and then everybody started to play. Is that the cover you're talking about?
Yeah, that one.
So I'm here nor there on Chris Stapleton, although I've grown to like him.
He's a great soul singer.
Oh yeah.
You know who
he's more R&B.
Yes,
I agree.
Anything to me,
but man,
he has soul oozing out of his pores. He is not
big time.
Like, yeehaw, dick, 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 you know.
Yeah, right. No,
he's got the whole package. So
I mean, he has that song with Justin Timberlake that's kick ass.
I've come to really like him.
Say Something. You ever hear that?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. I've come to like him, and I recently, within the last 2 weeks, have started to explore Sturgill Simpson too. Those two names kind of going together.
I will admit I have not spent.
I haven't either, dude.
Sturgill either.
Sturgill is.
Allow me to rate
the first two Sturgill records are out of this world.
Yeah, I figured you would be the guy who would guide me in the right direction.
He's
kind of a psychedelic cat, right? I mean, he's out there too. I mean, he's out there. Interviews and stuff. He's out there.
Oh, yeah, he was dropping acid while he was in the Air Force or Navy or whatever.
Which is sometimes what you have to do. All right, so we're moving on. I've got your Leanne Womack written down too. There's More Where That Came From.
It's a great record, man.
So we're on to R&B, rap, blues, jazz. Connors, what do you got?
Oh, probably one of my dreams in life is to start a Rufus cover band.
Oh yeah.
I'm such a fan of the band. This goes back to early days of sitting in my uncle's studio and him showing me tunes. Shaka Khan and Rufus was one of those huge things. One of the things it does is allows you to realize space in songs as a player. Like Ain't That Peculiar, which was a cover for them, but the way they did it, the guitar is just droning the same line over, and the bass is just leaving these huge holes for it's just so. Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, the very first album with her on it. It's got Fool's Paradise on it, which is a wonderful. It's got Sweet Thing, that was the hit off of it, obviously. And I believe Tell Me Something Good's on that, but that might be another album. Lots of great songs. So that's a cover to cover album every time.
Right.
That's a don't miss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Scott.
I had the Look of Love and the Sounds of Lorindo Almeida from 1968.
Nothing here. That might as well be an NM. That might as well be your NMD pick, Scott, because
he's a Brazilian guitar player.
That explains. See, this is before we started. I told you. I'm like, this is where Benting's going to come in.
Yeah,
this is
exactly.
This is what Scott. I bring the Night Ranger, and Scott brings the Brazilian guitarist,
Lorindo Almeida.
Exactly.
Lorindo Almeida. If he plays with, he does a record with Sinatra, which is awesome.
Oh, wow.
But this record, it's not bossa nova. It's bossa nova adjacent, though. The guitar. If you're into, let's see, the brothers Gutierrez.
Oh yeah.
If you're into the Los Angeles League of Musicians, which is a new jazz group that I got your son into, John.
Oh yeah.
Or not? It's Lalam. L.A.
Connor's son.
No, your son.
My son. Did you give him one? Did you give him an album or something? Or
I told him to check him out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's in his playlist. Yeah.
So yeah, Lalam is
jazz nerd.
But yeah, if you like Antoine Carlos Jobim, any of that type of guitar playing, this record is from 1968. It is out of this world. It's got woodwinds. It's got strings. It's a killer record.
Well, my pick was a rap album, and it's on, and I had forgotten when I was kind of researching this, I'd forgotten how big Tommy Boy Records was.
Oh yeah.
Right back in the day. And my favorite, probably from their label, actually, was De La Soul's 3 Feet High and Rising.
Never got into De La Soul.
You didn't?
Yeah. I did not. No.
Oh man. I'm trying to think. The single was great. It was called Me, Myself, and I. And what was the other? Oh, Potholes in My Lawn was on that record. There's a couple other. I'm not gonna think of it. I think it's called The Magic. That doesn't feel right, but they were like that. I don't know what it was called. So it was sort of hippie rap. Do you know what I mean? Like De La Soul was in there. Tribe Called Quest was in there. Arrested Development.
They were that style.
It was that style. Yeah. And which was cool because for me, I already in that era, I was a huge fan of gangster rap, right? Of Ice-T, of NWA and the Posse, Feel a Fresh Crew, some of that early Eazy-E stuff, all of that. And then there was the other side where I did like the Arrested Development, I guess I would call it socially conscious and pretty educational and dealing with socially conscious issues, like
and
brand
new heavies and things like
that. Yes, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I liked that stuff. And the other thing I liked it about oh my God, now the Roots even is they started to bring instruments in. Now instead of everything being a sample, it would be some live music with some samples introduced.
Yeah, a DJ sitting on the side scratching and doing stuff too, so that they
So De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. All right, we're moving on to our final pick, which is the NMD pick, which is kind of your obscure or weird. Yeah. We also call it the Benting. We call it the Benting because Scott's the only person on earth that I believe he's the purest NMD. He's actually like, case zero, but he's the guy that his entire record collection is NMD picks, right? Yeah. And you're like, hey man, put on fucking 3 Lock Box by Sammy Hagar. And Scott's like, no, sir, I don't have that. And then he thumbs through and he finds like a Sammy Hagar with Montrose in 1970. Exactly.
Thing that no one's got.
Yes. Benting will have that and be like, this is when Sammy Hagar was Samuel Hagar. And he had this avant-garde album called From the Bay.
Samuel Hagar in his bossa days.
Exactly. And then Scott would be able to tell you who played on the record. And man, I can't believe you don't know Samuel Hagar's piano player. That fucker's great. He's got a solo album up. So our NMD.
All right. And I got to credit my wife for this. And since she turned me on to her, I can't stop. She was sitting in an airplane, and you know how when you're waiting for everybody to get on board, they have little music playing up over the speaker. She had never heard of it before. She Shazammed it. She Shazammed it. Say that a couple times.
Yeah, no kidding.
A band called Sir Woman.
Oh, does a song with David Ramirez, man.
Scott, see, what are you gonna
do? I knew
your
you
obscure airplane music isn't gonna fly here. All right, you got Scott Benting sitting here. Me
is the one that pipes that music into the plane.
They literally ask him, "Hey man, we're stuck on the tarmac for like 45 minutes. Could you curate a set of shit no one's ever heard before?"
No problem.
But it's real. It's R&B soul music, but she was in she's an Austin musician. She was in a band called Wild Child for a long time, and it like just a folk kind of singer, and she was having success. The band was having success, but she wasn't really feeling it, like that she was doing what her soul was doing. So during the early stages of COVID, she wrote some songs down, put out an EP, and her EP's killer. She just then she had a follow-up album that came out in like 22 that was a full length, which was really good. The hit song is a song called Blame It on the Water. That's just, I say hit song. It's probably never going to see the light of day. But that's the song that you'll just be like, holy crap. And her band's killer. She's got in the van, when they play in the back of the van.
Jamming in the van.
In the van. She's got such a killer jamming in the van. It's her, 2 background singers, bass, keyboard, drums, and it's the sickest 4 songs. That's my, I don't know, as happens my whole life, there's so many people, I don't know why they're not just skyrocket famous. And, and it's sad because who knows if Sir Woman is gonna keep making music, I hope she does. I'm going to keep buying it, but things like that where I'm just like, it's so incredible. And the chances are that, hopefully she gets to keep making music because
that's what's your NMD pick, Scott?
Mine is it's a jazz compilation called The Hot Ones. It's a big band compilation. It was put out by Johnson Motors.
Wow.
In 1961 to promote their line of Seahorse motors.
I was going to say, isn't Johnson an outboard boat
kidding.
motor?
So like the inside of the record, there's like coupons to send away for the record. It was $1.25, I think, but it's a badass. It's got like Woody Herman and Gene Krupa, Lionel Hampton, Dave Brubeck.
Oh wow!
It's a big compilation album.
Yeah, it's 11 different bands. It came with the record, and then it came with a record of the jingle. And
nice. For the motor
here's the coupon for $1.25. You can buy the
nice, man. Wow, that's a classic.
So it came with the music, and then this has got like the commercial and stuff on it.
That's awesome. And you've listened to it, haven't you?
Oh, a lot, yeah.
See, now that's the thing. You come to my house, you know, you're gonna get some Billy Squire. You go to Benting's house, you're gonna get Johnson boat motor commercial jazz is what you're getting at the Benting house. I wrote it down, Scott.
Song I'm gonna by Sir Woman with David Ramirez is called Hell.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. If you want to check that out.
Yeah, I'm going to.
He's an Austin musician as well, so.
All right. Well, I guess I'll be closing this out with, this might not be obscure as I think it is. I know it's not to you, Scott, because I know you know the band, and Connors, you might know them too, but they're called the Dead String Brothers.
Oh.
And they have a record called Silver Mountain.
Then allow myself to write this down.
It's 70, I would say it's 72 to 76, 77 era Rolling Stones. Would you agree with that, Scott?
Absolutely. Especially the first record. It's Exile. I mean,
it's certainly, we played with them a bunch. They're from Detroit
like their
area.
Second or third record, John?
Second, I believe.
Yeah.
They have one after this. They have one called Cannery Row and one called San Paulo. One of those, and I think it's Cannery Row, I think, that sounds like it's more of a later 70s, like an Eaglesy. It's a little more West Coasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas like Silver Mountain is straight up 72 Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Open G guitars. They had an English guitar player at the time.
Okay.
Pedal steel, killer. Just all around great band. They're again Scott Detroit based, right? They're in that area, I think.
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Dead String Brothers, Silver Mountain, definitely if you're into that kind of bluesy rock and roll.
Oh, definitely.
They do that really, really well. And you guys, I always know we've had a good pick 5 show with a guest when my sheet is just like it's everything. I've got so much stuff, so many notes written here.
I've got I missed on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 new albums that I'm gonna download
exactly
as soon as I'm done and start listening to them. Just start figuring them out.
Exactly. Well, dude, John, thank you for coming, man. I know it's your morning time. We appreciate you coming. I certainly, you got anything you said you got some you got show coming up with Troll for Trout.
Yeah,
at Bliss Fest.
Yep.
And then Tipsy Roosters are playing. You guys were up in my area not too long ago, up in Manistee.
Yes, indeed.
At the theater.
Yes, yeah, and that was a fun place to play. That was
funny that so you guys played that show. Theater. You played that show, and then like someone locally. I get this all the time. Like, man, have you heard of the Tipsy Roosters? Man, they're bad. I'm like, yeah, I've kind of that sounds familiar. And well, that's not true because what I normally say is what I said when we played with Carrie. I was loading my shit into my car, and someone came up to me and said, "Hey, you remind me of someone," and I'm going to tell you his name, but there's no way you're going to know who he is. But you remind me of a guy named Jack Lever, and I'm like, never heard of him.
Nope, no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you mean that guy who's been ripping me off for years?
Yeah,
that's
for
what
years.
I said. Yeah. Well, thank you, buddy, for doing this.
Number 2.
Exactly. Yeah, he's been copping my thing for so long. Scotty, I hope you feel better, buddy.
Yes,
you plowed through it. I'm proud of you. You wouldn't miss one. You wouldn't miss. Go get looked at.
Didn't make me miss one.
Yeah. I know. I forget about that era. I forgot about your
very broken leg at that.
Your BMX era. I forgot about that. I forgot all about that. Man, that was pretty scary.
Almost 3 years ago now.
That was scary, yeah. All right, you got any parting words for us, Scott?
I know what I've done for music. Don't call me a legend. Call me Miles Davis.
All right, everybody. Thanks again, John. See you guys.
You bet. Thanks for the ask. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you, buddy. All right, see you. Feel better, Scotty.
Thank you.
See you, dude.
See you.